Welcome to AM Best Audio.
As technology reshapes the insurance industry at an AI-like pace, agents and brokers are under growing pressure to turn data into a competitive advantage. Business intelligence is no longer just nice to have, but rather a critical tool for those looking to survive and thrive as we move through 2026. I'm John Weber for AM Best Audio, and I'm speaking today to Anurag Shah, Chief Data Officer at SIAA, who works closely with agents and brokers to use business intelligence to drive growth and navigate rapid technological change. Anurag, so glad you could join us today.
Thanks a lot, John, for having me. Super excited to be here.
So, Anurag, from your vantage point at SIAA, how do you see business intelligence continuing to transform the agent and broker sector and the broader insurance distribution system over the next few years?
Now, that's a great question, John. And from the insurance industry perspective, data has always been a critical aspect. This industry is built on data and a good understanding of data. Carriers obviously have leveraged this for several years in the past, but really now it's becoming pretty critical for agents and brokers. And some of the large brokers have been early adopters as well. So it's not totally new to this space, but it's really trickling down to every single agent and broker across the country, and it's becoming more and more important because if you are not using some of these technologies, you are going to have challenges against competition, against delivering the good value services that your customers expect. So it's not just from a competitive standpoint, but also from your servicing and customer expectation standpoint. There is certain requirements that you will have to meet. So that's absolutely becoming table stakes for this industry going forward.
Now, many agents recognize the importance of data, but still struggle to use it effectively. So, Anurag, what are the most common mistakes you see in their approach to business intelligence?
Yeah, and that's really the core here. Is it's not that agents don't understand the value or the need for data, but some of the challenges that face them when they start adopting it kind of makes them wonder if they really should pursue it, right? So the and I've spoken to hundreds of agencies across the country over the last few years, and some of the common threads we see is, for example, things like data quality. I can't tell you how many times we might be deploying our agency IQ platform, and the agency would say this insight or this recommendation looks inaccurate, and when we would dig into it, we realized that the input data was not done correctly, unknowingly, but still there were some errors. So we have this saying which says garbage in, garbage out. So if your input data quality is not at least reasonable, your data analytics tools, your BI tools, even AI to that extent is not going to be um, super helpful. So I think focusing on the quality of the data in your core systems is, in my view, one of the biggest mistake. They should focus a lot more on not just ingesting good quality data, but keeping it up to date, making sure it stays up to date, right? So that is really one big. And the second piece I would say is the culture aspect. Many times agency owners or executive teams would buy tools or subscribe to technology without getting enough buy-in from their team to use, because the tools are only as useful as your action based on. So if the tool tells you to do something and if you don't believe in it, it's not going to work, right? So there is to be a cultural buy-in from all members within an agency to kind of take the leap of faith and say yes, we'll adopt these processes and change this in a way. So I would say these two are the most commonly um, common issues we've seen in agencies who are trying to adopt.
Customize your data experience. BestLink now offers an interactive company dashboard that provides company-level intelligence in a fast, user-friendly interface featuring interactive tables, charts, and Sparkline performance histories. Customize the dashboard tiles to prioritize the insurer ratings, data, and analytics that best support your workflow. AM Best. Our insight, your advantage.
When agents make those missteps, what growth or revenue opportunities are they typically leaving on the table?
Yeah, some of them are pretty obvious, and some are not so. So the obvious ones are their response times are poorer. So some of the things that they would take hours to do, where their competition might do it in a few minutes. So they are not being as effective. They are not delivering high value service to their customers. Response time, whether it's at court level, whether it's at a service level, um, that is a very natural, obvious issue that they face when they are not using some of these technologies. But some of the more uncommon things that we've also seen is that they sometimes miss out on opportunities that they discover, saying, hey, these are new products, or this is a new segment that we never looked at, that we can probably go after. And they're kind of leaving that business on the table, not realizing that it even existed. That gives entry to some of their competition, and then they kind of lose the entire account or a group of accounts or stuff like that. So we've seen that kind of being a more hidden issue that they realize only much later.
Anurag, how can real time data insights change the way agents and brokers make decisions day to day, from prospecting and retention to like carrier relationships?
Yeah, I mean, I believe using data in any conversation makes that conversation a lot more digestible. You're taking some of the emotional aspect out and using data from a decision making, whether you are doing your business planning with your carrier, or you're engaging with your team to understand how your business will evolve over the next year. I think using data just makes those conversations a lot more practical. What we've seen in some of the conversations that they've had is, like, sometimes you realize that it's not something that the team is doing knowingly, or a carrier is trying to give you a certain product that may not be a fit for you, or you may not be even considering certain set of products in that market or in that geography. So I think using data just helps your conversations being a lot more realistic, rather than being driven by emotion. And by no means I want to say that the experience that agents and their team have on the field is replaced by the data. So it's kind of augmenting what they have, their own knowledge, their own expertise, but the data kind of augments that decision making cycle, makes it sharper, makes it more actionable, right? So that's really, in my view, the more real time data that they should be using, whether it is engaging with their internal team members, their customers, or their carrier partners. I would say all the three dimensions are equally critical for them.
Now, for agents looking forward to 2026, what practical best practices separate those who successfully turn data into business growth from those who fall behind?
Yeah, and I would say pick some aspect of your business that is under stress, right? So for example, we had an agency we were working with, and they had a real challenge retaining some of their customers. Their retention rates were dropping, and we helped deploying some of our agency IQ platform. You can pick area that makes sense for you. You don't need to deploy everything on day one. If you kind of try to take a big bite, and that gets harder to kind of implement, you are probably better off picking area that you see some quick win, implement it fully, get some team buy-in, and then scale it out to the rest of your organization. So maybe it is in servicing, maybe it is in managing your renewals, maybe it is in your quotes. How quickly can you process some of your requests and quoting system? So there might be various aspects of your business that you are focusing on. Pick one, the one that really needs some improvement, see some benefits, and then I would say scale them out to other aspects of your business over time. Don't try to implement all things on day one.
Great advice. Anurag, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having me, John. Appreciate it.
That was Anurag Shah, Chief Data Officer at SIAA. And I'm John Weber for AM Best Audio. Looking to get the full attention of the insurance industry? we have the platforms that will do just that. Whether it be AM Best TV, AM Best Audio, Best Review Magazine, or Best Day. Find out more by calling AM Best Advertising Sales at 908-439-2200, extension 5399, and have a great day.